Hi everyone. I wanted to create this video on the back of the fact that Kaz created a reflections video the other day, and it was really popular, and we had lots of people kind of reacting to that and talking about it on Twitter. And so we decided we were going to do a bit of a reflection series on YouTube so that therapists could kind of put across their thoughts in a few minutes on video about whatever topic that they wanted to. It wasn't something that I was planning on doing myself, was thinking about putting other therapist videos up. However, today is the day after the resolutions and motions have been announced by BACP of what will be going through to the AGM or not. And there was just some thoughts that I had that I kind of wanted to share, really, and put out there. There's loads of issues that have been raised with regards to this process. I'm not going to talk about all of them. I think there's questions that need to be raised about why 8% of people in the BACP voted in the resolutions and motions process, yet didn't vote for resolution 1 or resolution 2. But I actually want to speak today on a broader point around the BACP resolutions and motions process itself. Now, for any resolution to go through to the AGM, so that is for the membership to then have an opportunity to vote about whether they would like that resolution, requires 5% of the members to vote at this stage of the process. Now, no resolution has ever received 5% of the membership vote. One of the resolutions this time has come very close. So I think it's like 4.7% of the membership voted, but still did not hit the requirement of the 5%. Now, for me, I think that there is this percentage is too high. There is never going to be a resolution that receives over 5% of the vote. And therefore, this means that this process is absolutely meaningless. I submitted a resolution along with Emily McArthur this year to suggest to the membership that this percentage should be reduced down to a lower percentage, maybe 3%, maybe 3.5% of members' votes. That resolution was rejected by the BACP with no consultation with myself or Emily. The reason given was that it was not in the interests of BACP. We didn't think that that resolution would get passed by the members because we didn't think we'd be able to get 5% of the members to vote for that. However, one of the reasons why we submitted it was so that we could raise this issue with the BACP membership, so they would be able to see and highlight that actually this process, it feels like it's not very meaningful to members actually, because there is very little chance that anybody will ever get anything passed to be voted on at the AGM. Now, some of the resolutions this year that have got have got higher percentages of votes maybe than previous years. The people who've been campaigning for these particular resolutions have accessed social media networks with thousands and thousands of therapists. Okay, when you add it all up, there's probably 10 to 15,000 different therapists that this has been highlighted to. Maybe not all BACP members. Now, a lot of time and effort has gone in from those people who submitted those resolutions. They're not paid for that. They do not have a lot of time necessarily to do all of that campaigning. And they spent a lot of time and effort trying to get that message out. And it's been highlighted, to a large number of people. If we're in a position where we cannot get resolutions passed in these circumstances, particularly when you look at the issues that are being raised in those resolutions. Some really important issues around racism and prejudice within the profession, reducing fees for therapists to enable them to progress within the accreditation system without a high level of cost. Some really important issues. If we can't even get them through to be voted on, okay, with such a high profile discussion of them across social media, then this system is not fit for purpose at all. I know there's been some kind of tweets and social media messages around the lack of engagement from BACP members. So I think approximately 8% of members have voted in the resolution process and motions process. So that leaves 92% of members who haven't. But I think rather than focusing on the membership, I think we really should be focusing on the BACP's responsibility in terms of what they are doing to engage members within this process and highlight this. I think the voting time is too short and doesn't give people enough opportunity for their campaigning and to raise awareness. BACP have sent out a handful of emails to members. I think there could be a lot more done. There could be a forum for discussion. Could be interviews with the people who proposed those resolutions and motions. And there could be a much broader campaign to try and engage members within this process. And I think it's a failure of BACP that they haven't done that and aren't doing that. They've highlighted this year that they've never had more people submit motions and resolutions and vote in this process. However, I do not believe that that is because of anything that BACP has done, but that is to do with all of the people who are campaigning on social media to try and raise awareness around these issues. So all the credit to them, and there's been so much engagement within this process for this year. I know that the BACP have also said that this 5% kind of rule is been highlighted as kind of standard within these type of processes and actually good practice. I do not think that a percentage can be described as good practice when it discourages rather than encourages members to submit a resolution and be involved with the process. If we are not getting enough meaningful engagement with this process to be able to bring resolutions to the AGM to then vote on, so that's only the first stage of the process, to then vote on it about whether we want that as a membership, as part of our membership body, then I think that it's not a meaningful or useful process for the membership, and I think that BACP needs to look into that and find an alternative way of delivering this process so that members can get involved.